And so, good afternoon to all of you. This is your show, Líderes del Futuro, and I apologize, that was a long introduction, but there's a lot of information that we need to cover. And the first piece about this, it's about the fact that, today there is New Year's Eve parties that are planned everywhere, and people are being negligent at home and outside the house. And as a result of this negligence, people are dying. The latest numbers for Sonoma County is in the last 24 hours, we've had 120 new cases. And now we are at 190 people who have perished as a result of COVID. 6 people died yesterday and 2 the day before. And this is happening based on the information we got from a doctor this week. This is happening no longer because people are not aware of the issue of COVID. A lot of people are getting sick because of negligence. They chose to leave their home when the government said, don't do it, please don't do it. They pleaded with people to not do it for Thanksgiving, and people did. They left, they went, they visited families, they visited friends, they visited with other people, and now people are dying. And then for those individuals who celebrate Christmas, people left their homes and went and did that. They went and they ate and they party and they were not wearing masks. And as a result of that, by next Thursday is when we are going to start seeing crazy numbers. Why do we know that? Because we already saw it from Thanksgiving and because everybody's seen it throughout the state of California and the country. But, for now, let's focus on California. Why California? Because doctors in a report today were speaking about the fact that their ICUs are full and they don't know what to do with people anymore. They have individuals in beds in different places that are not the ICU anymore because they don't have enough spaces. So they'll put them in the gift shop. They'll put them in meeting rooms. They'll put them in hallways. They'll put people wherever they can, but they don't have the resources anymore. And as a result of that, one of the doctors that was being interviewed today was saying that at some point, several alarms go off because people are having heart attacks. And as a result of that, doctors are now in Southern California, and likely this type of issue is going to happen in Northern California due to negligence. Doctors are having to decide, do we go to the 32-year-old and do something, or do we go to the 70-year-old and try to save that person? And that is the issue. We need to decide how responsible do we want to be. Because again, the same thing is happening here in Sonoma County where people are getting sick and some people are lying when they're being asked, how do you think you got sick? Where were you? Can you tell us the location? And people don't want to admit to county officials who are just trying to save more lives by contacting people and saying you may have been exposed. They lie. Again, people are no longer getting sick in the same numbers as before due to working in the fields, working in stores, working in restaurants. People are getting sick because they went to somebody's party and they just thought nothing was going to happen. And then people, the elderly specifically, are getting sick because, a young man or a family went to somebody's party, everybody got infected, they came home, and then they share it with grandma and grandpa unintentionally, but it's still negligence. Or they invited people to come over and grandma and grandpa cannot take care of themselves. Maybe they're in a wheelchair. So there's no, oh, well, she should have left the house while they were entertaining. No, that is negligence. And, at this moment, the county officials, the district attorney will not look at it that way. But in any other case, that would be negligent homicide, giving this virus to individuals who have no ability. The same thing for children. Children are not always getting this COVID in the same way and the symptoms, and they're not dying in the same numbers. But if a child suffers from asthma, if a child is, suffers from obesity, if a child has, diabetes, they are more susceptible to have different consequences as a result of COVID. And if the family is hosting a party or forcing that child to go to a party without a mask, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about negligence. And I cannot tell you how some individuals will feel when they find out that they were the ones that gave the virus to a family member that ended up passing away. And this is the discussion that nobody wants to have, and that's perfectly fine. But it is exactly the discussion that we need to have, because otherwise people are going to end up dying in huge numbers. We already knew that the winter was going to be what we call the dark winter. But let's wait until January, because the numbers from those individuals who celebrate Christmas and New Year's are going to be in the first week of January and the second week of January, when we are expecting to see the largest amount of deaths in this country. And for Sonoma County, it's exactly the same as the rest of the country. People are traveling, people are visiting other people, they don't know, they don't get tested. And what we're also finding out is some people do get sick at their job, because in places like construction, often many individuals, if you don't work, you don't get paid unless you are unionized. And so some people know that they are sick, but they still go to work. And so the doctors were sharing this, and actually the county, I'm talking about LA County. I'm not getting as much information from Sonoma County on this, but LA County, what they reported is that a huge number of people also, the second group that is getting sick, besides the ones who are being negligent there, are the other group of people who are also being negligent, and that is construction workers. They have this ability that we are tough, this view that we are tough and nothing is going to happen to us. And anybody who wears a mask is not a real man, and this and that. And so one has it, and by the end of the day, everybody has it. Here, where the station of KBBF is located at, on a regular basis, I see men getting out of their cars. They come and park their cars here in the morning, they carpool, and then they come back. And often the driver and the passengers in those cars who don't live in the same household, nobody's wearing a mask, or they have it around their neck instead of wearing it properly. So if one has it, everybody gets it. Or they gather outside their cars and they chit chat for 10, 20, 30 minutes on average. And there may be 5 and 10 and 15 people sometimes. And as a result of that, again, nobody's wearing a mask. And that brings me to the other piece, and that is there's no point in wearing the mask if you're not going to cover your nose and your mouth, because otherwise you're sharing or absorbing it through your nose. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. So it is New Year's Eve. So a lot of people are thinking about going to somebody else's party. They're going to be in the garage, they're going to be in the backyard, whatever. Again, we all have a social responsibility here. 833-723-3707. I'm going to spend most of the evening preparing bags for masks that we're going to give away on Saturday with a few volunteers starting after I finish the show. Today, we gave away over 100 masks in Santa Rosa at a low-income apartment complex. And the other 14,000 or so masks are going to be giving away on Saturday as well at a low-income apartment complexes throughout Sonoma County. I really need another 15,000 masks, but for now, we have what we have. And so if you feel that you want to support your community and you know that your neighbor has 17 people in the backyard drinking and doing whatever, you can always call 833-723-3707. Your call is anonymous. You can report it. And it is time that law enforcement do their duty as well, because they have been failing. The city of Santa Rosa, the police department, for the longest time, were not even close to enforcing any of the rules. And the chief of police finally said they were going to start doing it, but yet On Tuesday or Monday, I forget what day it was. I think it was Tuesday. I drove by Hearn Avenue in Santa Rosa, and there were over 25 people just hanging out there having a barbecue. And an hour and a half later, maybe I was driving back. They were still there. Some of them may have even been consuming alcohol. And there were people playing basketball, there were people playing volleyball. Again, they're not supposed to be doing that. But the police never came. And again, it's about protecting people. And so, one last time, I'll give this number for now: 833 723 3707. Right? Or hospitals will become overwhelmed. And as a result of that, somebody will die because there's a limited amount of services. And remember, the warm line as well is 707 565 2652, 707 565 2652, between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And just reminding you that testing is different now. They no longer do testing through the nose. They now, because I know that was a lot of the big complaint people had and the reluctance to go get tested, everything is done through your mouth. It takes about 5 minutes or less, and then you go on your way. Testing, if you want to schedule testing, you can call 707 565 4667, 707 565 4667. You can go check out my YouTube channel, Líderes del Futuro, and there you can find the different locations where testing is going to happen. For sure, there's going to be one on Sunday, and that one is going to be like 7 hours. And I think it's because by then we're going to start seeing individuals who are going to test positive as a result of the event of Christmas that people celebrate. And so it's important that you all keep this in mind. Please stay safe. If you want to celebrate, there's going to be a New Year's party, as I like to call it. And we're going to have a DJ here on KBBF from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. And there's going to be live, DJ music happening here on KBBF 89.1 FM and on the web at kbbf.org. And so we invite you, stay home, celebrate with those that you live with. And if you need music, free music, care of KBBF. And with that, we're going to play a beautiful song, and we'll be back with you.